stand, and I want to do something a little different today. And a lot of times I do a moment of silence for someone who died, but we lost someone who's been a part of this county commission for many, many years this past week, Mr. Bill Fahey. And I'm going to ask Mr. Jim Davis to say something, but we all knew Bill. He worked with us closely for years and years and years, and he was a staple of this, and he was someone we turned to for all of our legal help and work for us. Jim, if you'd say a few words about Bill. I mean, you know him better than probably all of us. He'd worked for you for years.
Yeah, Bill was, I started a long time ago, but Bill started in '91 as an assistant, and I was an assistant at the time. When I became prosecutor in '93, he stayed on, and he just basically one of the supports of my office. As I said, over the years, Bill's done countless things for the citizens of Hancock County. He's one of the smartest men I've ever known. Great guy, wonderful family man. And somebody was talking yesterday, and they were telling me everything that he was doing for different people and his family, and they summed it up by saying he took care of everyone but himself, and in a way that may be true. And it's a huge hole, and I don't know. Eventually, it'll be filled, but it won't be the same.
Thank you, commissioners.
I'd just like to say we lost more than our legal counsel today. We lost a friend and a colleague. When you work together that long with him over those many years, it becomes more than a business. Over the years, I can't remember one time when Bill didn't give us wrong professional guidance information. I got great satisfaction out of calling and talking to him. He was a straight shooter. Again, always professional. And we got great legal guidance from him, and we are sorely going to miss him.
When Bill would sit there at that table where Mr. Davis is today, and we'd ask him for his advice, if we told him the direction we would think, what we were thinking, he'd give us one of these like that. And but Bill had to be a great dad, because he spoke highly of his children and his grandchildren all the time. And if he could be remembered just as a great father, then he's accomplished a whole lot in this world. So we'll miss him.
Thank you. Anybody else want to comment? Anyone here in the audience? Anyone who knew it? If not, we'll miss you, Bill, and we'll be for your family. So, Father, we just come to you now under the blood covenant of Jesus, and we lift up the Fahey family today, Lord. We ask that you be with them and comfort them and guide them and direct them, Lord. As you be with this commission meeting, give us wisdom and guidance. Protect our police and fire people out there, Lord, and go with us, guys, and direct us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now call to order this regularly scheduled Hancock County Commission meeting, Thursday, April 3rd, 2014. Citizen presentation. I'm going to ask Mr. Pat Ford, the Executive Director of the Business Development Corporation of Northern Panhandle, if he come up to the microphone. And Mr. Ford, the microphone and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, sir. Commissioners, each year the Business Development Corporation of the Northern Panhandle applies for funding from the West Virginia Development Office. And part of the process is to have a statement or a resolution from the County Commission reflecting your continuous support. So I'm here today to ask for that resolution. But before you pass on that, I have a number of updates, if I may, Commissioner Greathouse, to bring to the public and also to you gentlemen today. The leadership that you all have shown when you made economic development jobs a priority, not that they always haven't been, but just since I've been here, and I've been here 5 years from now, have really resulted in some huge successes. And thanks to your leadership and your groundbreaking cooperation with the Taylor Smith and Taylor Pottery Factory site that you all chose to take on, the Benedum Foundation has announced an award to the Northern Panhandle of West Virginia for what they call and have titled the Benedum Funded Grant for Site Ready Programs. And this is it's one of the first of its kind for a foundation in that it is a cooperative grant to capitalize on the cooperation that you instilled in the TS&T Pottery redevelopment site to illustrate that with multiple partners you can tackle some of the biggest challenges in the Ohio River Valley and some of these river towns. And this particular fund was created to model the success with the TS&T site in that they decided to fund on the back end of projects, not on the front end, but on the back end where if it were just for a gap financing, a project could be developed. They want to model that, and they want to do it for all the river towns between Pittsburgh and Beach Bottom. And this funding is $377,000 over 3 years, and in that $377,000, half of that money will be funded for 2 counties in West Virginia, and the other half is for our partners in Allegheny County and Beaver counties in Pennsylvania, where you all will see the benefit right here in Hancock County will be Chester, Newell, New Cumberland, and Weirton. And to get this grant, we had to identify sites that we thought were on the cusp of development. And we had to illustrate that if, in fact, at the end of 3 years, we've used this money like we were supposed to, and as we modeled the TS&T site, we had to illustrate that there will be 300 jobs and $20 million in total investment at the end of that 3 years on these 10 sites. And again, the sites that we picked in Hancock County that we really want to use this money are the Taylor Smith and Taylor site, Memorial Stadium in Newell, and we've identified 2 sites in New Cumberland and also the Jimmy Carey Stadium in Weirton. We do have some projects that we identified in Brooke County, but those were the focus of the projects that we want to see this money go to in Hancock County. What I also want the public to be aware of, and this again goes back to the importance that you illustrated in collaboration. If you recall, back in 2012, we all joined up with Gateway Telecommunications to submit a West Virginia Broadband Deployment Council grant for broadband infrastructure. And as a result of that application, Hancock County received a grant through this private company, $227,000 to extend broadband in the rural areas of Hancock County. We also got it for Brooke County as well. The importance being to make this place a great place to live and create investment. We not only need broadband internet in our major commercial corridors, but we also need it in our residential areas as well. So that's another great announcement, and again, thanks to your cooperation in working not only with other public entities, but the private sector, we're bringing more attention and more investment into Hancock County, so thank you. I would also like to mention that we currently are applying for $870,000 in funding from the United States Environmental Protection Agency for Phase 2 and community-wide assessment grants. We're applying for $400,000 for community-wide assessment grants for Brooke and Hancock County, and we're also applying for an additional $70,000 in assessment money because we need to finish cleaning up the riverbank at the Taylor Smith and Taylor site, Taylor Smith and Taylor Pottery site. There's still some lead shards. We've cleaned everything on the plateau, but we want to finish that site because that riverfront has some value. To date, again, thanks to your support, we've already received $1.2 million from the U.S. EPA. So if we're so fortunate to get this money, that'll be an investment of over $2 million from the United States Environmental Protection Agency, who's been a great partner to the northern panhandle of West Virginia. I also now want to talk about some of the specific projects that you all have charged us with. And I want to start out with probably one of the hottest sites of the 3 that we acquired from you, and that's Memorial Stadium and the former Jimmy Carey Stadium and the former Volunteer Fire Station. I'm pleased to announce here today that we have received an option, and we've signed an option agreement for a prospect for the Newell Stadium. Now, what's exciting about an option, it's a lot better than a letter of intent. That means someone's put money down, and we've deposited, and the check's cleared. So we're holding a sizable deposit for a prospect that will realize over 24 jobs and a multi-million-dollar investment in that property. That could not have been done with the role that you took and the leadership that you took in getting these properties that weren't on the tax rolls back on the tax rolls. Unfortunately, I can't disclose who that prospect is at this time, but I will at a future date. The other two sites, the Jimmy Carey Stadium, that's a very challenging site as well, but that site is also in the middle of a neighborhood and a factory, and taking your lead on that, we thought it would be important to follow up in working with the city of Weirton and the community to find out what the highest and best use of that site would be. So we've reached out to Mayor Kondik and the Weirton Redevelopment Authority, and we're going to engage their services to help come up with a feasibility study that we also are seeking funding from the Hubcap program, which we've already been given a verbal commitment that they're going to commit $10,000 to do a feasibility study. We have a $12,000 grant in for the Community Governors Partnership to give us a total of $22,000, which is just enough money that we need to do a feasibility study on determining what the highest and best use of the former Jimmy Carey Stadium is. As you all know, the site is being raised and flattened, and some of those improvements are being taken off and recycled, and we appreciate your continued effort to do that, but we also appreciate how you expedited your efforts on the Newell Stadium to actually make it very attractive for development. And we continue to market the former volunteer fire station. We've received a number of offers, and we have nothing really more to report on that at this time. I would also like to add, and I'm looking up there at the frame of the Taylor Smith and Taylor site. When you all took that project on a couple of years ago, one of the things that you all did by taking that project on was instill confidence in investors, both locally, nationally, and internationally. You instilled confidence that if elected officials like yourself can put your money where your mouth is to take probably one of the most challenging sites in the Ohio River Valley and make a go of it and bring it down to create economic development opportunities, others could do that too. And what I wanted to share with you today is what has happened and the domino effect that you all have created by doing that. And I also want to report some key economic indicators from the Census Bureau that actually corroborate the impacts that your decision to get into economic development has done. Since that time, you've been a major part in being the catalyst of creating almost 1,500 jobs in Brooke and Hancock County, creating almost $50 million in annual payroll. This is, again, over the course of 4 years. And almost $150 million of total investment in Hancock County and Brooke County. And that is, of that, $15 million is public investment and $135 million is private investment. And that also includes $1.5 million in grants in our area from the Benedum Foundation, the U.S. EDA, the U.S. EPA, and the West Virginia Development Office. In Hancock County alone, that public investment is $1.6 million, and the private investment is almost $80 million in Hancock County alone. And again, I will argue that the only way that that can be done is if we create an environment that's positive for economic development. And again, I can't thank you enough for that initial $500,000 investment that you all took on to make something and make a difference in Hancock County when you took on the Taylor Smith and Taylor Pottery site. And I thank you all very much for doing that. And with that, that's all I have. So I kindly ask for your small donation.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Before you get that. I know you can't say too much, but you wet our whistle a little bit here with the Newell Stadium, and I know you can't say a lot because of confidentiality and
Yes.
and investment. So, but time frame here. I mean, are we looking? Can you have any type of time frame when we could
Yes.
expect?
The most I can disclose on that is that the announcement would be within 60 days.
Okay, so within 60 days, and define multi-million, more than 1 million.
More
Is
than
that-
one?
Okay.
less than 5.
All right.
And the jobs, more than 20, less than 30.
So $3-4 million investment growth in Newell, and thank you, sir.
Really exciting. And I knew that when you all came to us and we were looking at those 3 properties, I knew that that was going to be the first to go. I mean, it's beautifully situated in a wonderful community. There's already a thriving major industry there. There's high traffic volume created by Mountaineer. It was an ideal site, and it was just a matter of time. We've been shopping that to a lot of people, but out of respect for the community and the wishes that you all asked us to follow to make sure that we had an employment generator there, we wanted to make sure that we found the right match, and that's why we decided to sign the exclusive option agreement with this prospect, because we feel that this is going to be the right one for the community.
Mr. Davis?
We'll have our celebration on ribbon cutting. How's that?
Right. I was getting the eyeball from Commissioner Davis. I wonder, what did I say wrong, or what?
Well, you know,
We appreciate your efforts, Pat. We realized too, as a commission, when those properties were purchased, they weren't going to be over. They weren't going to turn over in a day or two. It was going to take some time. We had demolition work to do, but we realized the value of those properties, and especially the property in Newell along Route 2. There's 15,000 plus cars a day down through there. Right. We knew that the right person would come along. We just didn't want to shake it off and sell it too quick to anybody. But appreciate you standing by us, and it'll be a positive thing.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
I think the great thing is, Pat, and I think we all recognize this, probably everybody in the county recognizes this, we didn't have any sites. We had to find something. We even tried ArcelorMittal pretty hard,
Right.
down there. But we got these places, and we're starting to see some bites on it, so that's exciting. We're glad for the work you guys are doing.
Commissioner Greathouse, I will add, it's interesting, before we took that project on, the Business Development Corporation only had $50,000 in assets. Now the Business Development Corporation has over $6 million in assets. And for the first time, prospects would actually use the Northern Panhandle as a community to drive through to look at sites from Pennsylvania to Ohio, and we could never get them to stop. They might have pleasured us with a stop at one of our hotels or our restaurants, but that was about it. But now we have enough sites in here that we can actually keep prospects tied up for a full day, showing sites from as far north as Chester to as far south as Beach Bottom. And again, thank you for making that possible.
Thank you. I'm going to, because Mr. Ford has to go and Channel 9 has to go, I'm going to take a short recess that Mr. Yuba and Channel 9 might ask some questions before you leave, Pat. That's okay with everybody here? We'll go into a short recess. I call this meeting back in order out of recess. If Mr. Davis is okay with that, Mr. Davis, is that okay? We're fine. All right. Citizen presentation. Todd Gilbert, Executive Director, Juvenile Mediation Program, and this news better be as good as the last news.
Pardon me, sir?
This news better be as good as the last news we just had.
I still didn't.
Oh, that's all right. Go ahead.
I'm hard of hearing, and I couldn't. Sorry.
He said he wants multi-million and several jobs.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
We work with juvenile delinquents. We're pretty cash strapped. As you know, every year the state offers a grant to our agency that has to be funded through a government agency. You all are kind enough to administer that grant for us every year, and we greatly appreciate that. This year, it's for the same amount, $150,000. And in the 6 counties that we serve, we do Tyler to Hancock. With your help, we served over 450 kids last year. We provided counseling for kids that are uninsured. We provided psychological evaluations, court diversion services, and we kept 240 kids from having charges filed on them in the 6 counties. And we wouldn't be able to do that without your assistance, and we greatly appreciate that. And as far as costs or anything like that, we do pay an administration fee, so we are of no cost to the county. We just thank you for administering it and helping us out to do this work. And we're asking you to sign off on this year's application.
I'll accept a motion to accept that resolution.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Good one. All right.
3 times.
All right. Correspondence. Melissa A. Thompson, Department of Economic and Community Development, requesting approval of a resolution to continue participation in the Northern Panhandle Home Consortium. The resolution is for the fiscal year 2014, July 1st through June 30th, 2015. I'll accept a motion to accept that resolution.
So move.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Joan Bryant, a citizen, requesting help with her road problem. Bob, did you read this letter?
Yes, I did. She lives off of King Street. I believe she said there's 16 homes on the road that she lives on, and neither the state nor the city will claim it. Right now, it's full of potholes. She is in need of people to help her get around, and so are some of her neighbors. And she's asking that we try to help out and find some way to help her get the road situation straightened out.
Would you be okay to send Mr. John Paul Jones, emergency management person, out to her house to talk to her and take a look at that road and then report back to us?
Yes, sir. John or I will do that.
Okay.
John's in training right now, so if he's not available, I'll make the trip.
Okay. Thank you very much. New business. County Commission approval of grass cutting bids. Package number 1 to Lawn Raider LLC for $4,450. Package number 2, Been There Cut That LLC, $5,900. Package number 3, Papa's Landscaping, $79.50. Package number 4, Been There Cut That LLC, $6,400. You see those in the right in there, gentlemen? Yes, sir.
Move to approve the grass cutting bids as presented.
Any discussion? You will see that package 1 was for the Hancock County Animal Shelter, the Hancock County Storage Building. Package 2 is for Flat Cemetery, Union Cemetery, Methodist Cemetery. Package 3 is Three Springs Drive, Cove Valley Playground, Peter Tar Furnace. And package 4 is the Laurel Hollow Park, Clark Field, Lawrenceville Park, and Crestview Park.
Mr. Vitus, the people who've submitted the bids here, the companies, they all have proper insurance and so on?
Yes, sir. We've checked. They're all insured. As we notify them, we'll make sure that they have the necessary workman's comp.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Number 2, approval of meeting on April 15, 2014 to lay the levy rates. Karen?
That's the day that the state mandates that we lay the levy rates. It's just up to you guys what time.
So we'll have to recess this meeting today. Is that what we'll have to do? And come back April 15th. Okay. We'll make that a matter of record. We'll discuss that at the end here. Okay. Request the scheduling of a meeting on April 28, 2014 to approve exoneration orders. Mr. Davis,
Good for me.
good by you?
It's Mr. Lundy's.
Mr. Longy.
Well, we do this every year, over the last several years anyway, with taxes going delinquent on May 1st, and the last regularly scheduled commission meeting is probably around the 15th. There's
17th,
2 weeks,
yeah.
17th, at least 2 weeks of erroneous bills. If we don't have a meeting to approve them, they'll become delinquent. And so we've always tried to make this meeting as close as we can to the end of April to get those bills cleaned up so they don't become delinquent.
Karen, will you make a record that at the April 17th meeting that we just recessed to April 28th to do that?
Right.
We'll make that a matter of record also. Approval of resolution recognizing and supporting the Business Development Corporation of the Northern Panhandle as the lead economic developer and approving a pledge of $30,000 towards a grant from the West Virginia Development Office, LED grant.
Move to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Approval of reappointment Mr. Charles Pugh to the Grant PSD.
Move to approve that reappointment. Sorry.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. County Clerk. Request approval of hearing for the removal of an executrix of 2 estates be scheduled for May 15, 2014 at 3 p.m. Mr. Foley.
Well, that was your own sheet with the, I guess you don't
Yes.
It's okay.
Mr. Davis, are you okay to be here that day?
Someone will be here. I have
Okay.
the information in the packet, in my pack.
Okay. I'll accept a motion to approve that.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Dog Warden approval of March 2014 monthly report.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Office of Technology Communication, approval to advertise bids for a contractor to perform renovations for the new magistrates court. Mr. Vitus.
This is contingent on approval of the design. We had a meeting prior to this meeting with the Brown Group Architects. Went through pretty much everything as far as what's going on, what will be done with the building. Made a few changes that they're going to go back. They've suggested that they would have a bid ready to go in 7 to 10 days, and then we'll place the legal ads after that to get a general contractor involved with the magistrate's court.
We don't need to take any action on this. We'll just wait until the next meeting, correct?
We should probably have we could probably advertise between the two meetings. We'll probably be able to advertise before.
Move to approve the request here.
Contingent.
Bids contingent upon
Okay.
everything being reviewed and it's okay.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Sheriff's Department requests the approval of funds from an SRT Special Projects to purchase an M4 carbine.
Question I had, Sheriff, was there's no price on this?
It's already been, I apparently have not looked at it, but yes, there is a price, it's already been ordered. As my letter states, this was something that was ordered under the last previous sheriff, okay? Due to the type of firearm that it is, it took that long to get in, and so I was unaware of it, of course. It's here. It came in. Somebody needs to pay for it. Apparently, it was approved. However, what was given me, the information was given me that we could find no information that it was actually voted on or in the minutes. Karen did a good deal of research, as I understand it, was unable to find it in the minutes. So, in order to put it on record, at least, and to bring it before the body properly, at least show that it was done. That's where that letter comes from for me. Okay, so this is putting it on the agenda. This is an attempt to, I guess, keep us all in line. However, it's here. It's been here about a month, and I'm sure Mr. Rita would like to
have this checked. And we need it, correct? I mean, it's
Yes.
You feel that
Yes, I
it's
went
a
through with the,
valuable asset to your
SRT
department.
team. I cleared it with all that. This is something that they had requested previously with the other sheriff. But again, the type of weaponry it is, it takes quite a while for it to clear all the government paperwork.
Karen, you know what the price was on that?
I believe it was 1,700.
That sounds close, Karen. I can't remember. It's within that ballpark. If I,
1,700.
I'm sure you had the PO there. So the paperwork is in Karen's hands. She just failed to put it in your packet.
The letters are in there.
The letters are in here, and we read them. That's the only thing was missing was the price. That's all I questioned. Move to approve.
Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval of probates and estates.
We're good as to form. Good check.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval exoneration orders.
I see them.
Right
Yeah,
here.
they're fine.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval of general county bills.
The amount paid with check was $8,654.23. The amount of the general county bills paid with the P card was $28,574.90.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval of fire allocation bills and requisitions.
They're okay.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval of library levy fund bills and requisitions.
They're okay.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval of sheltered workshop bills and requisitions.
They're okay as well.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Mr. Davis, anything come before the county commission?
We're just, we will be meeting with you and other people we're servicing right now and figure out what we're going to do down the road.
Okay.
But we'll discuss that down the road.
Mr. Longi.
No. Okay.
Ms. Sherbaum? Ms. Tracy?
I just want to give our people some of these too. Bill was a good guy. We never needed anything. He was always there for us. So we will be safe.
Ms. Selecta? Mr. Sheriff? Mr. Vice?
Just on the Mr. Fahey thing, Notre Dame lost a great fan also.
Oh, they did, yeah. Mr. Foley?
Bill, when I took over, I told Bill, so he told me, he said, that you ever need anything, call me. I was calling him every day. I didn't mean every day. He was a good guy, very good guy. We'll miss him.
Yes, we will. Mr. Schwartzman?
I have nothing else. Thank you.
Mr. Davis?
No, sir.
I'll accept a motion that we recess till April 15th. What time? Delay the other race. What's good for you guys the 15th? That's a Tuesday?
It's a Tuesday. Can we do it later in the day like we did last time? Would it be a problem for you guys?
3:30 or 4? What would it be? Make your motion.
4 o'clock.
All right, we have a motion to make the next meeting April 15th at 4 o'clock. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're in recess.